Hello and welcome back to another book review. First of all, if you're new here, I post new book reviews almost every single day on both fiction and non-fiction books, so if you want to follow for some reading inspiration or you just like following book reviews, feel free to stick around. Today I'm going to be reviewing volume 34 in a manga series that I have been reading for a while, that is Haikyu by Haruichi Furudate. Volume 34, I've been in this series for a while and I have been loving it. So I am going to assume in this review that you are either familiar with the story up until this point in this series, or you don't mind if I spoil things that happen in the first 33 volumes. If you want a refresher, I do have reviews on volumes 1 through 33 on my channel. Volume 34. So just a brief recap, we are following the Karasuno High School team. They are a volleyball team that is very dedicated, very passionate, and very interested in improving themselves. Kind of this burst of energy has been ignited by a young, short player, a rookie on the team, Hinata, who's one of our main characters that we're following throughout the series. Karasuno High School has made it to the Tokyo Spring Tournament, and they are working their way through the brackets. They want to obviously win, but they're trying to get as far as possible. It's their first appearance in the Tokyo Spring Tournament in a long time, and they are excited to do their best and hopefully win the tournament. On day or round 3, we're on round 3 already of the tournament, and on this day they are facing Nekoma. This is their rival team, and it is the team on the cover. So it's these people in red jerseys. At this point, also I have to add that this game actually technically started in volume 33. The games kind of bleed between series. At this point, up to this point in the tournament, I should say, the teams that Karasuno has been facing have not been teams that they have a deep, long connection with. Maybe they've heard of the team, they know some rumors about them, but they don't have any sort of personal connection with them like they do with Nekoma. I'm gonna say both ways. I'm not sure which is correct. This is a team that they have a close, personal, intense, deep rivalry with, and it's a team that they have played against in practice games before in the past. So they have a history with this team. And I think that's starting to come into play in the series. Previously, Karasuno High School has beat the favorites to win the tournament in Narazaki High School. This was a huge win for them, a massive confidence booster that they can come out on top, and it proves that they really have grown a lot as a team. However, I think that in the Narazaki game, they didn't have any preconceived notions. They knew they were going against a very difficult team to beat, but they didn't have a history of or a pattern of behavior to fall back on. So they were not sitting there like they are with Nekoma and thinking, we haven't won a practice game. They haven't won a practice game against Nekoma. So they have this history, this psychological aspect where they haven't won before and they would have to be doing something new. Karasuno has won games against other teams before, so they just have to beat in Narazaki. But Nekoma comes with a lot of this psychological baggage or this mental baggage that they also have to work through. So there's also a mental game at play here where they're going to have to pull off something if they want to win this game that they've never done before. And I think having some preconceived notion and the history of a rivalry there makes this team in this tournament a little different than any of the previous teams in the tournament that we have seen up to this point. I also have to say in this series, which I do have to add, the game does not conclude in volume 34, and that is to be expected. I do not expect this game to conclude in volume 34, but it does not. And something I am loving in this is the narration style, which is taken over. So because this is a big tournament, it is being televised and shown on TV, and there are radio announcers like there are in sports who are calling the game. And the way that the narration has been set up is a lot of the game is now told by these TV, radio announcer presenters in these special bubbles, and that's how the plot of the story is shown. Obviously not all of it, we do have some interaction between the characters and dialogue between the characters, but I like the way that they have announced, or the author has introduced kind of this, not omniscient, but a narrator voice, someone who's over the game and calling it as it is, but without having this weird disembodied third narrator, which is kind of over the whole thing and we're not sure who they are, kind of like a god, for lack of a better term, who like is looking over it and narrating the series. It is really the narrator, the announcer, who is calling the shots, and that's our narrator for the series, and I really do like it. I think it's super readable, and I'm glad that this was introduced. I think this also happened in volume 33, but having that narrator voice I think makes the plot really easy to follow, and I really like just that narrator choice, or that choice that the author made to include that narrator in the series. I think it was a really good choice to make. Volume 34, as mentioned, does not conclude the game. It actually only concludes set 1, which is very intense and very difficult to get through. I don't want to say difficult, it's not like you're crying when you get through it, or at least I wasn't in tears, but it is very stressful. It's very tense. You have all these emotions and this rivalry that's been built into it. So everything kind of means something and everyone's analyzing every play, every move, every attack, every set. Everything is being analyzed. So we only make it through set 1 and the very beginning, and I mean the very beginning of set 2 in this series. So I think this game is going to drag on for quite a bit longer. Thankfully, all my holds came in and I have the next 3 books in the series on hold, or not on hold. I actually have them at home now, so I can continue reading this game and see how this rivalry concludes. I'm really excited to continue this series, and I hope it continues to be action-packed and really interesting and fun to read. If you've read Haikyu, if you've read this volume or have any thoughts up to this point, please let me know in the comments below. I love to receive them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.